everyone! SparkDojo Youtube チャンネルです。本日のパートナーは
それはたくまです。
よろしくお願いします。
よろしくお願いします。
今回のテーマはアクティブリスニングについてです。最近英語圏のビジネス誌でももちろん日本語のビジネス誌でも最近よく見かける言葉がアクティブリスニングなんですね。でもそもそもアクティブリスニングとは何なのか、普通のリスニングとはどう違うのか、アクティブリスニングを行うには何をすればいいのか、今回はこのテーマについてお話ししたいと思います。So, Takuma, let's define the term first. What is active listening?
Yeah, active listening is when you participate in the actual conversation, even though you're just listening.
Oh, I see. Okay. So why is active listening so important?
It's important because, first of all, you need to make sure that the other person knows you're listening, and they feel like you're listening to the person who's speaking. The second reason is because by using active listening, you can actually get more from the speaker.
So extracting more and more information. Okay.
And lastly, it's a good way to jump right back into the conversation or discussion.
Why is that?
Because if you're participating through listening, it's easier because you're already there. So you can find your right timing to jump in, and it makes it easier for you as a technique to just get engaged and become the speaker, transition over into the speaker.
I see. So active listening is not just about listening itself, but also trying to find the timing to jump into the discussion.
It's all part of being engaged.
I see. All right. So we at SparkDojo focus on three perspectives, three pillars of communication: mindset, language, and techniques. So let's go through each one. How do we show active listening? Through mindset.
So what's important when you're trying to practice active listening is to use your mindset should be thinking, okay, I'm going to stay engaged in this conversation. I'm going to be participating even though I'm listening to the speaker. So the willingness to be always there, always present inside the discussion or inside the talk is something that you need to have as a mindset when you're practicing active listening.
Right, I see. So the opposite would be maybe passive listening, right? Passive listening mindset. So information is coming at you and you're not really receiving it, you're not really trying to absorb it, you're just there to receive. So active, on the other hand, is actually engaging with it and listening and showing that you're listening. Okay, so how about language?
So language, I can talk about a few words that you can use. The easiest one, there you go. It's an easy way to show that you're listening to someone by just simply saying or okay, or interesting.
Right. Yeah, I think in Japanese we tend to use maybe like a single word like or hai. And in Japanese that works because we share culture, we share, the same kind of DNA and the same kind of way of thinking. But English, maybe a little bit more variation in what you say might be important too to show that you're interested.
I think that comes from being more expressive, right? Even in Japanese, you can say naruhodo. It's like many variations in terms of the words, but perhaps there's more expressiveness involved. Oh, great! Oh, wow! These are things that have more emotion inside.
Right. And it's a great way to show your character as well. For example, I say cool a lot or awesome because I have a pretty friendly character in English. What kind of active listening words or cues do you use?
I tend to say, that's interesting a lot because I try to show that I'm open-minded. Even if I don't really completely agree with someone's comment, I can say that, and at least I'm showing that I'm trying to receive what they said as something new for me.
Right. Okay, great. So the last pillar is techniques. What kind of techniques can we use to show that we are actively listening?
I think the most important technique when you're practicing active listening is to actually do it and do it many times. So instead of just doing it once,
and then pausing.
Practice it many times, right? So once again, the most important thing is to stay engaged. So you should stay engaged by practicing many times. It takes a lot of energy. You don't think that a listener would be using a lot of energy, but through active listening, you're going to have to.
Is there like a proper timing or sort of when should you show that you're listening? when should you say these words?
I think probably more naturally if you start practicing it on a regular basis. But think of keywords, like strong words that the speaker is using, or main points that they've made. So these are cues for you to say, oh, okay, and to respond to those keywords or main points. The other technique that you want to use is paraphrasing. So this is a technique that comes out in many circumstances or situations in communication. But while you're listening to the other person, you can also paraphrase what they say, like keywords or main points.
I see.
So in that way, not only are you just saying, oh wow, and you're responding, you're also making sure that the other person, or that you are understanding the other person.
I see. So summarizing, paraphrasing to also show that you are not only received, but you comprehend exactly what they're saying. I just paraphrased you.
Very good.
Okay, maybe one more technique is about nonverbal technique,
Okay.
right? Active listening is not just about sort of saying, oh yeah, cool, okay, but also engaging using your body and your face. Like, oh really, interesting, wow, right? Hand gestures, leaning in, using your body to show that you are also engaged and involved in the conversation is important as well.
Yeah.
So, Takuma, one more question.
Yeah.
Can we overdo active listening?
Yes, you can.
Is there a too much?
Yes, there is a too much in active listening.
Oh.
If you participate too much, perhaps you paraphrase every sentence, the other person will not find their own rhythm to speak.
Right.
Remember that you're still the listener when you're participating and practicing active listening.
Sure.
It's very important to keep the speaker comfortable and happy about talking about what they want to say.
I see. Okay. Well, I think there are many easy ways to practice this on your own as well. For example, you can watch any sort of YouTube video or a TED Talk or a speech, interviews, and practice. Pretend that you are in that environment with that speaker and practice active listening cues. Also, SparkDojo has many events that we have. So please come by to an event and practice active listening cues with us. Alright, well thank you very much for watching this video, and please check out all of our other videos at the SparkDojo YouTube channel. Thank you, bye.